Hey everybody, it's Fee. I want to show you something that I was excited to do today and share with you. And that is taking this medical Pisces out to the Iron Halo, locating an 890 jump Derelict, abandoning this medical Pisces at that Derelict, requesting a service beacon pickup, being carried back to Area 18 to retrieve my vulture, and using the beacon that was created by me landing the medical Pisces on the Derelict 890 to return back to the Iron Halo at that exact same spot. So, learned a few lessons along the way, but first and foremost, I do want to say that I got this idea from actually a title of one of Grumpy Eye's videos, where he mentioned maybe using the Derelicts as like a space station, or some kind of a hab. And that just kind of got my wheels turning. I never did watch his video, but it did get my wheels turning about whether or not I could pull something like this off. So I'm heading to the Iron Halo via HURL 5 from ARCL 1. So I dropped out at 7.8 here in the Iron Halo, and I like to actually, as soon as I kind of come out of Quantum in the Iron Halo, is kind of set a spawn back that's not necessarily facing the sun. So basically turning this guy around and using the quantum marker, so we're kind of headed in one direction. But we also don't have our our back is facing the sun. So long story short, there's some really good stuff about RS signatures that I'm going to be doing another video about, but it's something kind of a Easter egg here is learning these RS signatures is going to be very important for the future. So I'll use that as some foreshadowing for an upcoming video. So anyways, I was able to locate an 890 fairly quickly. You'll notice, if you notice a single salvage beacon, and you can see them up to 65 kilometers away, you can approach and locate these, and they're not difficult to find in the Iron Halo. I found several of them. So in this particular case, I had never been in one of these before, and kind of as an homage to Grumpy's video, I did kind of land in it and run around them a little bit, and I did pick up a couple of tips or tricks. One of the things that I will tell you, if you run around in these things, the elevators seem to be doing what elevators do, and I actually kind of got trapped in one for quite a long time until I decided to kind of prone and jump and click my way out. So, I did want to share this with you in case you did go in. You don't necessarily, I think, for this particular procedure, have to go into the 890, but I hadn't been in there. The lights are on. It's kind of cool. And you actually can go in here. But like, as you can see, I was kind of got trapped in the elevator. I couldn't get out, and eventually what I ended up doing was, the first time I got trapped in an elevator, I just used prone over and over again and kind of clipped out of the bottom. The second time, I just kind of jumped around on the side a little bit, and I kind of just came out in a spot that was just kind of allowed me to clip through. So here you can see, this is kind of the second time a little later in the day, I clipped through. So don't panic if you happen to get stuck in those, is basically what I'm saying. You can absolutely work your way out if you kind of jump around, prone a bit, find that soft spot. So eventually here I am. I've landed. I decided not to leave the medical Pisces in the hangar part. I took it out and I landed it on kind of the back part of the 890, and with the engines off. And I set myself a beacon for a personal transport. Now, if it may be a wiser thing to work with a friend or something like that, but I was just kind of seeing if I could pull this off at all. So it didn't matter to me the rep level here. I just set 25,000 and worked my way out of the ship here. So set myself a beacon. Now, this is one of the first times I've ever used the beacon system to be picked up. Not that familiar with it. A lot of firsts here, as you can imagine, today. So, kind of pivoting around. Yep, it's me EVAing in the air in Halo, backing away slowly from the 890 jump and from the Pisces that I left on it. So you can see the Pisces is sitting right on top of it, towards the back of it, and the 890 jump is right there as well. So off we go. Now, I was a couple thousand away before someone took my beacon, and I didn't realize that it actually creates an icon. So, just as a heads up, if you actually, the minute that someone accepts your beacon, you can see it there. Like I was EVAing away from it still. I had no idea, it was there. And so, stick by that beacon once somebody takes your request. And so, yeah, I just, a special thanks to Captain Bullship. That's with a P. He actually picked me up. Thanks, Cap. I really appreciated it. He came out and he did notice. I wasn't far enough away. I mean, of course, he's seen the Pisces over there, and actually asked me if I was in it, and I said no, I'm over here in space. But good guy, really, really friendly. I kind of let him in on what I was doing, and he was very gracious about it all, and gave me a lift back to Area 18.
Have a good one.
And so, gave Captain a salute, and off we went. So here you can see, and I had been kind of watching. For whatever reason, it shows the Origin 890 jump as the beacon. And it's probably because of the proximity. I'm not exactly sure, but that's how it worked out. I mean, you can see the medical Pisces right there. That's Captain Bullship's. But you can see the 8.7 kilometers away, a million kilometers away, is the Derelict that we left behind. So off we go with the Vulture here. Now, one of the things I want to say is how beautiful the morning is here in Area 18. As I kind of pivot around, you can see it's just that magic time of the morning. Now, one of the things I did want to mention to you is kind of a tip or a trick. If you kind of set your power to all engines and just boost your way out, you will move significantly faster. As you can see, I'm boosting, and that boost is significantly improving my time for departure in the atmosphere. And don't be afraid to do that. I mean, with the Prospector or the Vulture, they both will significantly be able to depart, gain the distance, the altitude required to quantum. You can see it almost about the time that you're depleted, you're almost there. You got to get to 7.3, above. Look at that. You can see the beautiful sunrise there. Anyways, so a little bit of a tip or a trick here. I would have done better had I gone to Arc L1 first and then towards HUR L5. So that's a bit of a learning thing. You do want to go back to the original place that you went to the Halo towards, and I'll explain why here as we go forward. So as we get a little closer here, you can see I'm about a million away. It's down below, and it's getting closer and closer and closer. And you think to yourself, well, how are you going to get that close to this thing? It's in the air in Halo. Well, it's very interesting. So you can see I'm 311,000 away. But if I just go ahead and clear my route, and then you can go ahead and spool the drive again. Look, you can see there's another, right there is another opportunity to kind of get even closer. So you spool the drive, you then fire the drive off, and then you keep recalibrating this way. Now, had I gone to Arc L1 and then gone towards HUR L5, I would have ended up much closer. By me doing this kind of calibration method, you can see I was about 300,000, but now closing under 200,000 now, and getting closer and closer and closer. And you can see I will go ahead and just keeping an eye on it, and eventually I end up about 36,000 away. So still too far, right? But same kind of gig, right? Rinse and repeat. What you want to do here is actually go ahead, clear your route, set your route again. There's right there's now, like I said, had I gone from ARC-L1 to HURL5, I believe that I could have probably gotten within about 300 to 500 kilometers away. By me doing this, I eventually got down to around 1500. That's the closest I could get, and that has to do with the fact that the difference between ARC-L1 to HURL5 and Area 18 or ArcCorp to HURL5, it just was a little bit of a difference. Now, 3500, well, is where I'm at now, and then I clear the route again, and and you've got to be real careful to kind of spool and then drop out really quickly, spool and then drop out really quickly. So it's a little bit of a calibration thing. But like I said, eventually I ended up somewhere around 1500. 1600 I think was about as close as I could get before I ended up having to just kind of fly it in from there. And I think that had I, like I said, started from my origination point, I think I would have been able to get much closer. So it was a bit of a drive in. I just gunned it, it wasn't too thick here in the Air and Halo. I didn't, certainly there was a couple of things I had to dodge along the way, but as you can see, I'm kind of closing the gap here. And, this was a really fun endeavor. I think that a pair, like if you go out as a team, like one person's in a Vulture, one person's in something like this, in like a medical Pisces or something, and you both kind of fan out, and as soon as somebody finds the 890 kind of coalesce together, and then begin working it, I do believe that there's some really good opportunity here. But in this case, once again, this was a solo situation. I actually soloed this, and did get a pickup in the Air and Halo, and was able to return back to this derelict. So this marker's here now, right? So I could now theoretically all day long keep coming and going, taking as much of the scraping as I can, head back to Area 18 South and back again, rinse and repeat. And so that's why I have you here today, is to show you that this was a possibility, and to share with you, this is kind of cool, that you can actually pull this off. Now, a couple of weird things as I approached. Apparently the Pisces was drifting a bit because it's not perfectly on. It's not perfectly on the 890 where I left it. It's a little off. It's not terribly far off, but it's a little off. And also, it's kind of weird. Like the 890 was acting kind of weird, like I was bumping it at this distance, but I wasn't. So I'm not sure exactly what was happening there. I don't know if it was like the interaction of the Pisces and the 890 or what was happening there, but no big deal. We were able to return, and that was really the whole gig. And so anyways, I hope this finds you well. I really do think that this is something that that you should learn, and we'll see you around the verse.